Hi, my name's John from Body Mechanics Physio. Welcome to week 2 of the running clinic. Hope you enjoyed week 1 where we looked at the optimisation of the foot and ankle. As we work gradually through the body, assessing different joints as we go, week 2 is going to be focused on the knee joints. Before we move on to some assessments and some treatment modalities for you to work on at home, we're going to just talk about a few points about the importance of knee motion. The knee is a hinge joint. With any hinge joint, it likes to move in one plane, one direction of motion. If there is any rotational forces coming into the knee, that can cause significant issues. That's why the importance of making sure the foot and ankle is optimised, and as we move on, the hip also is moving well, becomes very important with the knee. So if you haven't yet looked at the foot and ankle clinic, go back to last week, make sure that foot and ankle is working well. What we're then going to look at and talk about is thinking about the levers that are involved within the knee. Two very long levers, one the thigh above, the shin below. As they come together, those forces are enlarged. So the importance of making sure good alignment is happening within that knee and the correct plane of motion is happening is very important. So what we're going to look at today is looking at how your knee moves through the motion of running. We're also then going to have a little look at your strength and your muscular control to make sure that's working as well as possible to maximise your running and reduce the chances of injury. So the first assessment task we're going to be having a little look at, similar to last week, is standing in front of the mirror. The first thing we want to do as we look in front of the mirror is get an idea of where the body positions in space. Have I got even weight travelling over both feet and over both knees, most importantly this week? What we then want to think about is taking ourselves through a simple squatting motion. As we squat down, what we're looking to see is do those knees travel directly forward over the toes, as they would want to be moving optimally through the running gait. So as you squat down, assessing that motion and that plane of motion of the knees, we want to be avoiding any rotation within those knees. What we want to avoid seeing is those knees twisting inwards. If we're noting those knees twisting inwards, or even possibly outwards as you're squatting, then we want to start to flag those things up and identify those things as problems. Those rotational forces are going to eventually lead to some problems. So as you're squatting, you're looking for that nice forward motion of the knees over the toes. That's task and assessment task number 1. Assessment task number 2 we're going to have a little look at is a single leg squat. This is not only looking at motion, control of motion, but also strength and the control that's required. So as we stand on one leg, what we're then going to look to do is exactly the same thing, a one leg squat rather than the two. Again, we're looking, as you're doing this, can we control that knee in a nice plane of motion over the toes? How deep do we need to go in the squat? Well, what we want to think about is the task in hand. As we run, we don't need to squat all the way down. What we need to be thinking about is the amount of motion required for running from initial strike to push off. So we've now assessed that motion and we're getting some understanding hopefully of the alignments that the knees take and the positions that they're in through the running motion. What we now want to start to think about is how we start to control that and how we start to make that pattern of movement more optimal for when then we're out and running. So the first thing we're going to look to do, the first exercise we're going to look to do is a two-legged squat. Again in front of the mirror, looking to really groove that alignment, making sure those knees are moving forward of the toes in a nice straight position. We're looking for the knees not to come further in front of the toes, but that we are sticking the bottom out and coming down. But what we want to be making sure is the alignment of those knees is moving forward in the direction of travel with running. We want those feet and ankles in that good neutral direction of travel position too. And what we're going to look to do is squatting up and down, looking to optimise that further and further. Once you feel good control with the two-legged squat and you feel the alignment is good, the knees feel strong, what we can then start to think about is moving towards a one-leg squat, which is more specific to running. So to do that, we're going to stand balance on one leg, but we're going to put the other leg behind to give a little bit of extra support. What we're then going to look to do is move through that one leg squat, but with the support of the other leg. Nice and easily, looking just to come up and down through the motion. Again, that knee doesn't want to be travelling hugely in front of the foot, but what we want to be doing is it wants to be in a nice plane of motion that is specific and effective for running. We're looking to avoid any twisting and gain nice control through the thigh, through the hips, and also obviously through the foot and ankle. Once we can gain that control with the supported one leg stand, we then move on to a one leg squat itself. Nice, good control, looking again for that knee to travel directly over the toe with good control, never travelling too far in front, but nice, good control in the direction and plane of running motion. Have a good work on those. 10 repetitions is absolutely excellent. And you're looking to move through from a two-leg squat to a supported one leg until you can do a fully controlled one leg squat. What we're now finally going to have a little look at is a running man motion. So taking that one leg squat into a more running specific task. So we're going to start off in that one leg squat position, and what we're then going to look to do is then come up into a running position. Nice and easily, looking to guide that control and that support. As you're gaining the alignment, getting that knee driving directly forward over the toes in a good, strong and controlled style. So now we've spoken about the alignments, how we can start to think about strengthening it and controlling it better to maximise your running positions and postures. What we're also going to talk about the forces that are coming in and around the knee and making sure that we're maintaining flexibility. What we want to be making sure is the compressional forces in around the knee are not excessive. Making also sure that the kneecap that sits at the front of the joint is nice and flexible for motion. So the first stretch we're going to have a little look at is one for the hamstring. We're going to nice and easily stand with one foot in front of the other, the leg to be stretched in front, the other one behind. We're going to bend the back leg slightly, lower down into the stretch, sticking bottom out, tilting the pelvis slightly, keeping that treated foot flat on the floor and looking to feel that nice stretch through the hamstring. Looking just to get that nice freedom of motion. Holding for approximately 30 seconds, always as you feel comfortable to do so. The next stretch we're going to have a little look at is that of the thigh. Again, making sure that we're not over compressing the knee. So what we want to do here, nice and easily, heel up to bottom, nice and easy. We're going to start to then keeping your knees parallel, bringing that hip forward into a nice stretch position, keeping that heel towards the bottom. Again, as symptoms allow, and as you do this, you want to be keeping those knees together, nice and square. Think about being nice and open through the torso as well as you're doing that stretch. And again, holding for a good 30 seconds.
Thank you for listening. I hope that you found that useful and has given you some insight into how the knee works through the running motion and how we can begin to assess it, maintain its strength and control, and how we can maintain its flexibility. If you do have any questions regarding things we've discussed today, do not hesitate to give us a call. These videos do not substitute physiotherapy and proper gait analysis, but what they're there to do is give you a little bit of insight to help you self-manage your running, self-manage your body, and hopefully assist you with achieving the goals that you have with running and exercising. Please do not hesitate to contact us if you have any queries. We are available at the moment for online consultations, and we'll be looking to open, hopefully in the very near future, to provide again face-to-face consultations to assist you on reaching your goals. Next week we'll be looking to talk about the hip, how this works through running, how we can look to assess it, and again how we can look to provide you with some simple interventions to make sure you're getting the most out of your hips, working also in combination with the rest of your body and allowing you to reach your goals. Thank you, stay well, stay safe,